Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
Welcome to the Networking RX podcast. I'm your host, Frank Agan, founder and president of AmSpirit Business Connections. I want to talk about gifting today, which is somewhat appropriate. I tried to fit this in a few weeks earlier, but it just didn't work out. But leading up to the holidays, actually leading up towards Thanksgiving, I kept getting this one particular email, generally from realtors. I know a lot of realtors. They put me on their distributions, and they must all subscribe to a particular service that helps them get content out. I don't know exactly how it works. It doesn't matter. Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Remax, it kind of runs the gamut. Keller Williams. I'm getting these emails, but this particular email was titled "The Psychology of Gifting." And a lot of times I'll just take those, I'll look at one, and if there's anything of interest, I'll just, I know I can kind of recycle the rest or chuck the rest. But I certainly opened this one. I'd gotten enough of it, and I opened it and read it. And it was something I kind of wanted to talk about. Again, it would have been nice if it would have been before the holidays. The title of the email is "The Psychology of Gifting." But you know what? We don't just give at the holidays. It just seems to really be top of mind that time of year. But in this, and I'll read portions and share portions and certainly provide commentary, I do want to start off by saying when I talk about giving to your networking adding value, gifting certainly is a subset of that, can be a subset of that, but it is in no way the primary driver there. Most of what I encourage people to do to add value to others doesn't really, I don't really talk about gifting. Certainly, again, it's a subset, it can be part of it, but a lot of times people get caught up in that and think that gifting is the end all and beat all. And so they'll bristle when I say, you need to give to others, because they're in their mind is thinking of, geez, I only have a fixed amount of resources that I can give to people, and I need to be. If I give it away, I can't. It's less for me. In fact, one of the sayings I see out there, which I share often, certainly within my family, is that you can never go broke giving yourself away. And there's some truth to that. And if you're giving away money or giving material goods away, yeah, eventually you're going to run out of money. You're going to run out of things. But if you're giving of yourself, you're giving of your time, your attention, sharing things, sharing insights. When I come across an insight on email, someone emails me something, or I might stumble across something, it doesn't really diminish my life to share that with others. Certainly, arguably, there's a little bit of time that can come away from that, but that's the return on that is far, far more than what you're giving out with just literally 10 seconds forwarding it on, maybe with a note. But anyhow, the psychology of gifting, what I'll do is I'll kind of read through this and we'll add some commentary. But it starts out saying, as gifting plays such an important role in our social fabric, we give gifts for many types. We give gifts for many, sometimes conflicting reasons. At times, our culture expects it, for example, Christmas or birthday presents. At other times, it builds and reinforces relationships with family members and potential mates, and can be done for a variety of reasons. And then it goes on to share a number of significant or important gifts through history. The first was in 605, somewhere between 605 to 562 BC. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon was built by King Nebuchadnezzar. I'm butchering. I tried to look it up, but it was a gift to his wife, the Hanging Gardens. And then in 1514, Hanno the White Elephant was given to Pope Leo X by King Manuel of Portugal. Just what every world figure, what every world leader needs is an elephant, a white elephant. Literally, it's a white elephant gift, but actually the origin of the phrase white elephant comes from back around that time. White or very pale elephants were so prized that whenever one was discovered, it immediately became a possession of the king. So to give the Pope a white elephant was a big deal. It's got a different meaning now, white elephant gifts, but I totally digress. In 1772, there was a 189 carat, that's a big diamond, given to Russian Empress Catherine the Great by her lover, Count Grigory Orlov. 1884, Statue of Liberty was given to the United States by France. 1885, the first Fabergé egg was an Easter gift from the Russian Emperor Alexander III to his wife, the Empress Maria Fernova. And then in 72, a 2-lane bowling alley installed in the White House as a, well, excuse me, not 72, 1947, there was a 2-lane bowling alley installed in the White House as a birthday gift to then President Truman. Interesting. So it goes on and on with different gifts, but then it starts to talk about why we give gifts. One of the things it cites here is to build and reinforce relationships. It says, we often give gifts to recommit or establish our connections with others, which means they're a reflection of the giver, the receiver, and their unique relationship. Giving a gift to someone we care about allows us to communicate our feelings and appreciations for them. In fact, some sociologists think that we only give gifts to people we want relationships with. Now, that certainly stands to reason when we're talking about family members and friends, siblings, significant others, kids, so on and so forth. But we also give gifts in a professional sense as well. You might send somebody a book or take somebody to a game or to a golf outing or take them golfing. Whatever the case, you're signaling to them that you want it to be more than just, hey, hello, how are you, and that be the end of it. You're looking for an ongoing relationship. We're not giving to people, you're not giving to people, I'm not giving to people knowing that that's potentially the end of it. It's just not. There might be situations where that happens, but generally speaking, we're looking for a relationship to continue on. It continues on here, another reason, a way of showing love and devotion. In one way or another, gifts are used to symbolize love and devotion between two partners. For example, what do men typically buy for their partner when trying to express love or devotion? The go-to tends to be flowers, since they can be interpreted to symbolize feelings of love with their fragrant beauty. I dropped the ball there completely. Anyhow, I digress. Another reason we give symbolic communications. Have you been given a gift that has filled you with joy, or perhaps you've been lucky enough to receive something that left you feeling deflated and upset since it didn't meet your expectations? But why would this irritate you? It's the thought that counts, and that's precisely it. A gift you're not overly in love with can be interpreted as thoughtless in spite of its altruistic motives. Reminds me of the time when I was in law school. I got a gift from my father. He had sent me a box. I opened it up and it was wok utensils, and I was just like, I was beside myself. And my birthday's in February 26th. My birthday's in February, and February was always a tough time in law school because there was a lot of work. Second semester was really kind of piled on every year. I remember getting this box and opening it, so I'm like, God, wok gifts. I don't even have a wok. My dad doesn't even know that I don't even have a wok. I just left it there on the counter for certainly a few days, maybe in a whole week, and then I finally opened it up and realized that my father had given me. He'd given me some nice dress shirts because I was starting to interview and whatnot. It was actually a very thoughtful gift, but my initial interpretation was, oh my God, he doesn't even know me well enough. He knows I don't even cook. Anyhow, so symbolic gifts, symbolic that, hey, we're it's not romantic, but hey, we're thinking about you. We want to help you. Hey, here's a book that I think will benefit you. Here's a gift card because I really know that you like to eat here. Here's a nice frame with a picture of us to remember that time. My wife gave each of our kids, when they went off to college, a picture of my wife and I standing with our son, one of each of our sons or our daughter, at graduation, high school graduation. And I know that they all kind of have them sitting on their desk, just kind of a reminder. That's symbolic. Another reason we give is to receive something in return. Since gifts represent our desire to build or cement a relationship, they may require some form of reciprocation. When reciprocating a gift, it should be of roughly equal value, as giving too little signifies that you don't value the relationship, while giving too much means that you overvalue it and causes feelings of embarrassment. And that's why we talk about in networking, you do things without expectation. You should never expect anything in return. People feel a sense that they want to reciprocate, and that's okay. I don't think we take advantage of that. But it's always challenging. That was the hard part about dating. Now my wife and I, we've been married 27 years. Hope I got that right. 27 years, that's right. And we're kind of at a point now where it's maybe a card for anniversary. Now our son was born on our second anniversary, and so his birthday's always been way more fun than celebrating our anniversary. Always doing things with him and all our kids. But early on, and not just with my wife, but really dating anybody, it's like, oh, how much do you give? I don't know. That was always the stressful thing because you didn't want to overdo it, and you didn't want to underdo it. So it was certainly a stressful moment. And I'm glad I am beyond there, and I don't wish that on anybody. But it's something to, kind of think through, that sometimes there's oh my gosh, got them a gift. And I do remember going into that first Christmas dating my wife, talking to my stepsister Kelly about it, and just like, oh my gosh, what should I do? I really like her. I don't know if she really likes me. I don't want to overstep it. I don't want to understep it. I don't want to ignore it, but I don't want to overstep it either. And I'm trying to think what it was. It may have just been flowers. I don't know. Sometimes we give to help others. Some gifts are given with no expected return. For example, we often give presents to young children that have no way of reciprocating or even giving to our pets. While it might be argued that these gifts are reciprocated in other ways, altruism can also be at play. Love and appreciation are two of the biggest motivations for altruistic gift giving. And I argue whenever we do for somebody, people say, hey, what can I do for you in return? And if I don't have something that I need, I might have a general ask or something like that. If I don't have something I need, a lot of times it's like, what? Giving is its own reward. I'm glad to help you. It was something I had. I really had no use for it, information, or, it might even been a material good. I remember once giving an exercise bike away. Somebody was having some health issues and needed an exercise bike, and I literally had it sitting in the basement of my office gathering dust, and I gave it away. And he's like, well, can I pay you? I was like, no, I don't even know what it's worth. It's worth it for me to get rid of it. Well, what can I do to repay you? I'm not looking for anything. I'm trying to help you. That's all. And I felt good about helping him, and I didn't want him to feel like he needed to do anything for me. And then another reason to give, or the final reason they have here, is to find a mate. Most animals give gifts as part of the mating ritual, and humans are really no different. One of our closest relatives, chimpanzees, have been documenting giving food in return for sex and grooming, while gibbons are also a primate, give gifts to retain existing mates. So humans are... we're not so off from the animal world, and I'm sure there are other examples beyond the primates here. Just a quick little summary of this. It's just the psychology of giving. There's giving is nothing new. It's been with I guess if it's with primates, it's probably been with us since the beginning of time. If it's part of I want to call it mammalian culture or mammalian ritual. Because other animals do things for for other animals, certainly of the mammal variety. But it's been with us, and there are many ways that we gift, and some gifts require reciprocity, and some don't. Some are just there to help, and just we get that good feeling inside of helping other people. So, just wanted to share that as we roll out of the holidays and roll into the new year. Just things to think about with respect to giving and how it plays into the relationships in our lives. Just as an aside, thinking of giving, if you know of somebody out there who is looking to be in a referral-based networking group, can't find one, refer them to me. I would be happy to help them either find a chapter with one of our existing franchisees, we call them directors, or to help them start one in their particular area if aren't already established. Best thing to do is to email them and copy me on the email connecting us, and my email is in the show notes or at the end of the podcast.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AmSpirit.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connection. All rights reserved.